Yo, it's your boy DJ Boss Player checking in right now. We got another edition of Boss Talk. Tonight we have very special guest, Money freaking Mike in the building. Say what's up to the people, fam.
What's up, man? How you doing?
Comedian, actor, musician, very talented guy, very funny guy. One of my favorite people to follow on Facebook. I'll be reposting you a lot, bro, just so you know. I'd be like, yo, that was way too funny. I gotta share this with my friends because that was retarded. I can't remember. I wish I could recall one right now, but they just be getting me like every time. Yeah, man. What's going on, man? What's popping with you in this pandemic time? You get the vaccination, man? You got your shot, man?
Yeah, I ain't done it yet.
But you with it though? You gonna get it? You gonna get double up?
You said double up. I mean, we gonna see, man. It's looking like that's the only way to open the world. I don't know. We're gonna see.
It's the only way to open the world. We just gonna be stuck inside and we don't forever. Yeah, that's a great freaking point. Nobody has made that point yet. If we want to go outside, we all need to do this. Like for real. So yeah, I got my shot yesterday. I got the first one yesterday.
Oh yeah? How you feel?
I feel fine. My arm was hurting a little bit, but other than that, I was good. Like
you didn't get no like symptoms or anything.
No symptoms.
Some people been saying like they got like. Which one did you get?
I got the Pfizer, but they said the second shot is the one that gets you knocked out. That's where you feel everything. That's where you get the fever and the chills and the flu type stuff.
Yeah. I mean, we gonna see. Man. I mean, we got a little bit of time. I'm gonna see what's popping with this Moderna and this. I don't know. The one that's fucked up is the AstraZeneca or some shit. That's the joint that be getting motherfuckers fucked up, I think.
My nigga, they had these niggas. I went to Six Flags. I was not prepared for this shit. I didn't know what it was gonna be at all. I didn't Google it. Nothing.
It
was a drive-through.
Yeah, it's a drive-through.
That shit was like the Chick-fil-A drive-through, but a gigantic Chick-fil-A drive-through. I'm sitting in my car for literally like an hour and a half, just waiting to get. And you pull up to the joint into the tent. You say, "Hey, how you doing? Okay, so pull your arm. Which arm do you want? All right, stick. All right, then wait 15 minutes over there by the officer down there. All right, set your timer for 15 minutes, and you can go. All right."
That's it.
Here's your card. You know what I'm saying? Come back with your card and everything.
That's it?
Yeah, that's it, bro. That's it. It's wild, bro. Feel like they're branding cattle or something like that. It's just crazy, dog. I couldn't handle it. I wasn't ready. I really felt like I was in a movie. Like this is the Outbreak movie. Like, what is this?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty wild right now. I don't know. I don't understand a lot of stuff. I was just thinking the other day, I was just like, damn, they still got kids in cages and shit. I thought that shit was over with.
They still doing that too, yeah. And you said the border, right?
Yeah, I thought that shit was done with, but them motherfuckers is
still doing that too, man. That's crazy, man. You gotta pray for them kids, man. You got separated from their parents. That's wild.
It was pretty traumatic.
And they so desperate to get away from their these 10-year-old kids traveling solo. You know how dangerous that is? Somebody can just snatch you up and you gone. That's it.
Yeah, right. At 10?
10, 12. They caught a nigga on, but they went viral. State trooper caught a 10-year-old walking solo. He said he ran away from some people because they were trying to kidnap him. So he was solo. He wanted help.
I wasn't even allowed to ride the bus at 10 by myself.
Go to a whole nother country by yourself? That's crazy, man. That means it's got to be wild wherever they at, you know.
Yeah, lawless. That's what I'm saying. That's why laws get me, because it's like in some type of way they're good, but then like it's just when it becomes when you give up too much of it, like you give up too much freedom to be able to obtain, you know what I'm saying? I guess order.
I had this thought at work where there's this left turn arrow. It's like 6 a.m. and nobody's out there, and I'm running late. I'm going to turn left. There's nobody coming. Like, and it's one way, both ways. Like, why would I wait at that light when there's nobody coming and it's literally actually 7 a.m. and I don't want to be late for work? Like, and I'll never get pulled over. I can see there's a cop at every direction. Like, I'll never get pulled over. Why would I wait there if nobody's there? and just get a late mark for that. I was like, I had a thought like that's probably a terrible example, but if I had a thought like you got to know when to break the law. Like you got to know when it's okay to break the law because not all the law is not the word of God. Like it's not like God's law. It's men made those laws, and a lot of those times those laws are screwed up.
Yeah, or outdated.
Like slavery was legal. Like,
yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like it's. I think we put too much emphasis on society. Like even like equality in itself, right? Like we ask for equality, or there's swaths of people who ask for equality, right?
yeah,
But it's like equal to what though?
yeah.
Like what are we actually trying to? I mean, I understand the premise. You know what I mean? I'm not like downing something. I'm just saying, but like if you really just think about it on just a deeper logical level, like equal to what? Equal to the societal equal, right? Like to be able to have all the things that the same people that just like kind of like, you know what I mean, that have been holding you down to have.
I don't know. There's a lot of problems I have with that language. First of all, nobody's equal to anybody. Like people are not equal to each other. People are unique.
That's what I'm saying. It's very tricky. It's very tricky when that's what I'm saying. That's why it's a very tricky thing. It's not as like as simple of a thing to say equality. It's very tricky. You have to be very, 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 very direct in what you're asking for because it's kind of like a blanket statement.
Yeah, that's a good point. I think that's a very good point.
It's like one of those NBA. It's like one of those NBA bubble jerseys or something.
Wait, what? What are you talking about?
You remember in the jersey, like when they wanted to make like statements and shit.
Oh, they put equality on the jersey.
Like you could pick from this list. It was like equality and love and like you know what I mean, like justice, shit like that.
Yeah,
like basic shit basic innate human being shit. That you shouldn't be asking for that shit. Like you think about that shit, like they were asking for civil rights in the like 60s. They were asking for the right to be civil. If you don't think shit like we're not far from removed from that. So how bad? Like now it's just everything's covert. So you're talking about people were asking for that shit trips me out to this day. It's like people were asking, they were like begging for the right to just be civil with you. Say, hey man, can we just sit and be civil?
Imagine how hostile it must have been.
I don't want to be civil with you, motherfucker.
You are so beneath me. I don't want to look you eye to eye and treat you like a person because you are so beneath me. They really believe that. There's people who still do.
That's nuts to me. That's always been nuts to me.
That's a great observation. Like that's huge because think about what happened that went viral today. Did you see that video in that neighborhood with that white guy? The big, swole white guy was telling a short, skinny black dude to get out of his neighborhood. He's like, this is our neighborhood, or he said something like that. We don't want you in this neighborhood, you know. And he was getting buck. He pushed him a couple times, and whoever was with him got it on camera. He was clearly a racist. You know, it's like he's saying you don't belong here. You know what I mean? We carefully constructed this neighborhood. He said it. It's like, damn, you just gonna snitch on yourself, bro? They don't usually snitch on themselves. They usually try to hide it or use different language than that. Or act like that's not what it is. They find another reason to say why they're doing what they're doing. But he made it plain. I guess he didn't think the video was going to get far. 900,000 views on Shade Room right now.
Shade Room.
400,000 views on Hollywood Unlocked. 400,000 views on there. You know,
I love the internet, man. You're one moment away on the internet, man. It's the American Idols every day on the internet. We're all
one shining moment. That's just one shining moment right there. Yo, and then keep this right. This is what gets me right. So he's going hard, bullying. This is such an obvious bully move because this is the scrawniest short black dude you will ever see. That's so non-threatening. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So next clip you see, some people protesting on the guy's lawn. Like, come outside, we want to talk to you. They went to his house. That's karma for your ass right there. First you try to kick him out the neighborhood. Now there's niggas on your lawn.
Yeah, you don't want that. That's instant retribution.
Instant karma right there, dog. And Shorty went so hard, just like we don't want to hurt you. We just want to talk. We ain't finna jump you, little white man. We just want to talk to you.
That's just crazy, man.
Yeah, man. America is like they still racist, man. A lot, very, very, very much so. You know, that was proven by the election of Donald Trump. If you didn't need any other proof, there's your proof right there. Because about 50% of the population really thought it was okay to put him in office just to save the white privilege and make America great again, you know? So they out here, bro.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it's always going to be the same dichotomy here.
You don't think it's going to change?
No, I'm not very optimistic.
I mean, I'm as a black person, I see why I wouldn't. I'm not either. Like we've been like.
I believe you can make money here. I believe you can build movements. I believe you could do a lot of things here, but I believe that there's still, like, it's at the end of the day, things are still, they operate the way that they operate.
Yeah, it's systematic at the end of the day.
Yeah, so
a few people can rise above. A few people get picked out, and like really, these people got to be perfect too to get picked out. They make no mistakes. Like Barack, what mistakes did he make? No scandals his whole presidency.
Yeah, he wore like a beige suit, I think.
Yeah, that was the worst one. Or he wore a casual blazer on his first day.
I think they said he
made a big deal about that.
Smoked a cigarette in the backyard.
All wardrobe stuff. And the cigarette. Boom. There it is. That's not even illegal. None of that stuff is a problem. Meanwhile, the next white president is in bed with Russia. But nobody has he's good though. He's good.
Yeah. I mean, they all sneaky to me, man.
They are too. I mean, Barack was still a politician at the end of the day.
Like I love him for the symbolism and everything. But like at the end of the day, I kind of try not to lose too much objective on what he was. He was still a president. It's like kind of like Frank Lucas was. He was like, damn, Frank Lucas was cool, but he wasn't doing anything different than the mafia was doing. They're still killing niggas and peddling.
Yeah, you're still doing all the same shit. Yeah. A lot of
still gangster at the end of the day, just a nice looking one. Yeah, one that I could aspire to be.
It's a very good analogy, very good analogy.
I don't, and I mean, and everything about him. I mean, it's cool. It starts that shift of. That's what I'm saying. It's like it's that question. It's like equal to what? You know what I mean? Like we want to fill the same seats that do the same thing, because even if we do get these seats and we do occupy these seats, which is happening historically, which is happening countless amount of times, we're still just filling seats as such. You know what I mean?
I think what we're looking for now is equity. That's the word I keep hearing. It's just equal opportunity.
That's what I don't think that's a bigger thing that I don't think will be. They'll give us equality, blanket equality, and all that shit like that. It's the equity shit that motherfuckers ain't trying to let go of. Nobody wants to let go of that. That's the real shit, and that's the real place where people are really uneducated at.
Here's my problem. If you look at it like this, if you both hungry, and one dude got a burger, and the other dude don't got a burger, and you like starving, it takes a very special person to give that other person that burger or a piece of that burger. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, people just selfish. They hold on to it. Like people don't give away power is what I'm trying to say.
No, that's facts.
Like if they got a house and they got his only one key, they're not gonna give you the key like that.
And you got to think about it.
Unless they trust you.
It's a lot of silent. It's a lot of also like very passive. It's a lot of passive power, which in itself is not violent in nature, right? It's something that's been passed on from you from let's say this house, right? That's been passed on you from generation to generation, generation. That's not a in your face aggressive display of power, but the act in itself is. You know what I mean? Like that being able to have that type of equity, that is the power. Like to be able to always make sure that my kids will at least have this one, that, and that's just a small plot of something. You know what I mean? Like that's real. That's what it really comes down to. But like how many It's a very small population of people that are educated on that type of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it all comes from this whole problem that this world is having right now. Well, there's only a few people who are really having problems. The whole continent of Africa is suffering because of this, because of colonialism, and the Americas as well. So it all resulted from the scarcity of resources and what the Europeans were lacking. You know what I mean? The Europe was overcrowded and they didn't have shit. So they're like, let's go. And why do you think they left? They're like, let's go elsewhere and look around because we need more space. We need more shit. They land on these shores. So instead of thinking, oh, let's trade and go back like friends, they're like, nah, we taking this shit over because we need more shit.
Yeah, we need shit forever.
It's just a different mentality when you just it's just scarce. There's almost like I don't even want to say they have a different chromosome. I don't want to sound racist like that. Like that sounds worse than them.
I heard these two. It's operating from when you're operating in a place of abundance. When you're operating in a place of abundance, you're not really worried about. You don't really have the same type of worries. You're not really worried about things. So what might be something of an abundance to you that you just think is, I can just use this as is because it's an abundance. Somebody looks at it as I need all that because they've never had it. It's like equated to like a rapper, right? You know, a rapper's never seen any money. When most rappers, when they first get that big advance, right? They've never really seen any big money. And what the first thing they do the same thing that every fucking rapper before them has done because it's the same thing. It's like first time having sex. You can say what you want, but the first time you do it, it's gonna feel like, you know what I mean? So it's like, but if you're getting a lot of sex, it's not the same as somebody who's never got it. They're gonna be like, I'm gonna keep this. I don't know, man. I'm going on a tangent.
No, I feel you, but like it's like Africa has more natural resources than any other continent in the world.
So the Africans just didn't see it as something.
It wasn't nothing to them. It's what they were walking around with it every day. Do you remember Musya, the ancient African king, traded in the Middle East? He brought so much gold to the Middle East. The price of gold around the world plummeted because he had so much gold.
That's what I'm saying.
That's how much we had.
It's like passing that shit out, like fucking.
And Europeans are watching this shit like, oh, what the fuck? These niggas got shit like that. They got gold like that. So you know,
no bullshit.
They just want to like take, gimme, and they raped, pillaged, scalped Native Americans. Now America has a lot of resources too. North America, South America, they have hella resources.
Yeah, facts. That's why they stayed here.
I don't know what possessed them to take people as slaves though. That's a new one to me. I don't know. The world had never really seen nothing like that.
Nah, slavery. There's slavery in Egypt.
There were slaves, but not on the same level as chattel slavery. That's a whole nother level. Like,
yeah, I mean, the game always changes. You know, you always got the generation has to do it better. The next iteration of slavery is probably gonna be even
improve on the previous model.
Yeah, you know, like from Magic Johnson, there was Jordan. From Jordan, LeBron, Steph Curry. You know what I mean? It just always improves.
I take issue with that. I'm not gonna say LeBron is an improved model of Jordan. Oh, man. We don't need to have that debate, though.
Whoever insert whichever.
Physically speaking, yes, you're right.
Okay, yes, yeah, exactly, like chattel slavery.
I felt so bad laughing about that.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, even the players know it. I mean, it is what it is. It's not like that's what I'm saying. We're in a no matter what industry you're in or where you're at, we're all in a system.
And a lot of them resemble slavery, man.
It all kind of resembles. It's all just like the lost up.
Somebody owns you at the end of the day.
Exactly. I mean,
they can tell you what to do with your time while you're there at the very least.
I mean, we're all like, for the most part, there's a good 80% of us are owned by somebody.
And guess what? Even if you own a company, you're a slave to your customers.
Yeah. So I mean,
even say you're like the internet, what's all this? Social media influencer or something like that. You think you have a free life, it's a cool life, but you're a slave to your followers. Everything you post, you gotta live your life for what's gonna get you followers and likes. Because that's your livelihood depends on it.
That's why it's always smart to have multiple ways of getting it, especially in this day and age with everything being so cancel happy. You know what I mean? Like to be able to have something else to fall back on when when they're, if like you just said, like if you're a social media influencer and you're depending on everything for that is on the validation of the people, then you're at their mercy. Like your whole life, your family. Now you bought your mom's car with this mercy. You've bought your dad's car with this mercy. Bought your house with this mercy. So now you're doing everything at their beckoning call. Like basically now you're dancing for them. For once they see it too, you post it. Yeah, just got the new crib. Just got the new. Oh, that's when they're like, yeah. They wait. Yeah, now they're waiting. They're waiting on the downfall because that's what it is. They want the downfall to build you back up. It's a fucking
human psychology is a crazy thing. I need to take a psychology course. I have basic elementary like pop psychology, the bullshit.
No, dude, psychology. I was so nuts about psychology. I stole psychology from psychology books from like Montgomery College, and I like just to read them for fun when I got kicked out.
Oh wow.
Like I am.
What's the best thing you learned from that? Like from the books? What's the key?
I still not even fuck the, like even the books. Like that was just like my introduction to it. Like even to this day, like every single day I watch things on human psychology. I've watched probably like no lie, maybe thousands of hours worth of like psychology like material.
So what's your insight on psychology that you think people need to know that they don't know?
I think personally, not saying it as some type of like somebody who knows anything, but just from what I think and what I understand is that I probably say that people should be patient with their time and also be careful with their time.
Okay.
It's your time is really an investment, and it really is like it's if you don't use it to a means, that it just kind of vanishes. And that's really what the whole shit is about. Because if you really lay on your deathbed and you're about to go away and you're about to like never come back, like, you know what I mean? You'll hear all these people that are about to be on their deathbed or that are in jail for like life or some shit. They talk about just the valuing of time and this simple ass shit. So it's like, if that's really what it's about, why are we so quick to get caught up in everything else? Because we don't take the time to actually think about ourselves. We take the time more so to think about what your mom wants, or what your dad wants, or what your job wants, or what. It's always somebody wants something from you. There's always somebody asking something for you to do. Like you're always in a rush to fulfill somebody else's order. You know what I mean? You're never really fulfilling your orders, and then at the end of the day, these are things you don't even remember. You don't even remember. You won't even remember the shit that you did for your boss, or you won't even remember the shit that you're the random shit. You literally won't remember that shit. Yeah. Or you're getting locked up. You're getting locked up to do life. You're not gonna be like, damn, I forgot to go sell that one last brick.
But you will remember that bad chick you smashed from the club.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. You will remember that. You will, for 100% fact. You remember that.
You'll remember that guy's trip to Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, though. You'll remember that trip.
That's what I'm saying. You're gonna remember all that shit. You're gonna remember that. That's the shit you're gonna really remember. And it's like we get caught up. We get caught up because we think like maturity is overrated, and I think it does way worse things. I think we all start to dig a grave for ourselves when we think that maturity is a thing. I think it's not a thing. I think being responsible is just an evolution of having things and needing to protect them. That's being responsible. But the whole idea of maturity is a societal thing that traps you into these things that you have to hit, and then it becomes this whole vicious cycle of like trying to, once again, like I said, fulfill somebody else's order.
Like validation and caring what people think, like wanting to impress somebody else or make someone else be proud of you or think you're doing a good job.
It's this vicious cycle of validation that social media doesn't help with. Yeah. It's a vicious cycle of validation, because now it's like everybody wants to be the Joneses times like 10.
Yeah, everybody wants to have a Bentley, Maybach, a
And it's
Phantom.
not even and maybe not even that drastic. Maybe just even just like, you know what I mean? Just other, like, just like life in general. Like everybody doesn't really respect their journey or their value and what they give. I think we get too much trapped into a handful of pockets of shit, and then we don't really like trust and believe that the shit that we're doing is valuable, and extends, and it's all a part of the extension of all this shit. But like, I don't know, man. I think the shit gets. I think that shit is. I think that people don't give themselves enough credit because there's too much distraction. Like there's so much distraction. It's like if you
Oh,
don't know how to use.
distraction is crazy now. Like even from like high school to now, where I'm at now, at age 36, what, at 20 years, we didn't even have cell phones like that. Like I had a sidekick back then. What could you really do on there? You know, like I couldn't.
Yeah.
What am I looking at? You just play instant messenger. You're either talking to someone or you're not using it.
Yeah.
You weren't even surfing the internet on your phone like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, to go to a
like
computer.
when I went on the internet back in the day, I went to NBA.com and MTV.com.
Yeah,
you know
like simple, like, and then you went outside, or you went.
There wasn't even a Wikipedia to look up stuff. I had an actual physical encyclopedia in my house with the books.
And you know, I was talking to somebody about this. Is that also brings me to something where I think about human psychology, right? Like, what's the psychology that we're creating? We're creating a weird psychology for these kids coming up right now because they don't need to learn the things that we learned. Like, and we're still teaching in such an archaic way. It's backwards, why I think China's going to end up being way ahead of us, because what we're teaching is backwards. Like, we're telling them to still learn like the 50 states when they can Google that shit in fucking 2 minutes. Like, why do they need to? Why is memorization still a point of reference? Like, you don't need to memorize anymore. We already changed that. You can't say, what if the computers go out? Well, if the computers go out, then the whole world goes out, because the whole world depends on computers, not just this one kid who needs to remember that Alabama and Alaska and 50 nifty. Who the fuck cares about 50 fucking goddamn PEMDAS? I don't fucking care.
They need to overhaul the whole school system.
But that's the thing. They're just putting perfume on shit. They're just making it more complicated to make the entry barriers change to get into school, which they're gonna get you anyway, because they're still doing the same shit when you're not really actually teaching them how to learn. You should be actually just teaching them how to filter, like filter the internet.
The best thing you should do for a kid is teach him how to think for himself. But they'll never teach you to do that.
Well, that'll never make
them too powerful.
But with all the information, that's really the only thing you really need from school, is to teach you how to be yourself and to how to filter the internet to get the information you need. That's really all you need.
And look, people don't even recognize the system came from the industrial age. That's where the current school system comes from. They're trying to teach kids how to be good factory workers. That's why they're all lined up in a row. You hear a bell when the class is over. You got to raise your hand to talk, raise your hand to go somewhere to the bathroom or something. Everything is in order and instruction and order and rows. And, it's very structured and orderly, like a factory. That's because they want to prepare you to do that, because all these factories are coming out. Ain't nobody working in a factory no more, dog. Like, what the hell? Like, why are we still doing this?
Yeah.
Why do you need to know trigonometry? For what?
Well, because they transfer that factory mindset to all the other corporations, though. So all the corporations, they do the same thing as a factory. Everybody has the clock in, clock out method. Everybody has this time is the meeting. This is everything is still grouped in the same, even though it's not a blue collar. It's blue collar and white collar now. Like, everybody's under the same rules.
Yeah.
They got us all.
Shout out to Gagger. He's saying the most helpful education is experiential, and the entire U.S. education system does not teach that way. I agree. They need to have more mentorships and apprenticeships. You know what I mean? That's the 100%. Best way to learn is a mentorship.
100%.
Like, they need way more of those.
100%. That should be required.
Like, when you let people figure out different fields of study, figure out what you like, choose one, get a mentor, and go on your way. You know what I mean?
People should be group mentors. That's where they should be. The teachers should be that. Teachers should just be group mentors. People who are just here to mentor this group of students at what they have the experience and the knowledge to be able to mentor other kids now to be able to go and do the same thing. Like that would make sense instead of just having like a whole bunch of motherfuckers and you're just teaching them a bunch of fucking shit. Hey, what is this? This? Fuck you, bitch. All right, stop it.
I would feel the same way in class. Like, why are you telling me this?
Kiss my ass, bitch.
I felt that way in high school back then. Like, why are you teaching me this shit? Like, fuck you. Like,
it's even worse now because I can go
throwing
viral.
Shit at the teacher. Like, get the fuck out of here, man. Like,
that's what I'm like. That's what I'm saying. You can go viral for it now. I would have been a legend if I was in school. Right now.
Man, I would have been on Shade Room and Baller Alert.
man, what? I can't. I'm glad, man.
There would have been a weekly video for me.
I'll be like, yeah, Harvey.
I'm gassing it. I was a good student, but I used to get in trouble a little bit, but I was a good student, though.
I was treacherous, man. I'm not going to lie to you.
And look, Gacker made another good point. Capitalism. This is a point I made about 2 weeks ago. I think it was with DJ Q. We're talking about these mass shootings. One of the mass shootings that just happened. And I said people may not see the connection, but the reason why there's so many mass shootings in the U.S. is because of capitalism. Because capitalism teaches you to value money above everything else. So we have people out here they don't value human life. People are not seen as a priority. This is something you may not understand unless you travel to another country and not just visited, but also really got into the culture and spent time there. Like I've been to Ghana, I've been to London, I've been to other places, Paris, Brazil, Dubai, Jamaica. Like you're usually like a tropical country or like a foreign country like that. That's like a village. You'll see the difference where people treat you like a human being and they care. It's something like that situation where that old Asian lady got beat up by the security guard and the niggas just watched the security officer. Sorry, she got beat up by a random guy and the security officers just watched. That would never happen in Ghana. Not a chance. Somebody stepping up. And it's like the culture is violent and they don't value human life. When you go to work, you don't feel like they give a shit about you. You go to the gym, they don't care about you. You go to the supermarket, they don't care about you. You go to the bank, they don't care about you. Everywhere you go, they don't give a fuck about you. So you get this mentality that people ain't shit. Fuck people. You see what I'm saying? So you mix that with some sort of mental illness or whatever he has. Maybe he didn't have that. Maybe he didn't. Who knows? And you just get that one thing that ignites that spark, that flame that's already building that gasoline in him, like that's just building up. Like he's just mad. He's just walking around everywhere mad, and that spark and he just explode. You know what I mean? It's like I'm just spraying everybody. I just don't give a crap anymore because it's internalized. Because it's like, oh, they don't give a crap about me, so I don't give a crap about anyone else. You know?
So you think that stems all from capitalism itself?
I think a lot of it has to do with capitalism, which should explain why the U.S. has so many mass murders. Just not just capitalism itself, but I think what comes from capitalism is the culture you see in the U.S. You know, it's like the culture that we have is inevitable because of capitalism. It's inevitable. Like you could have capitalism, but there would have to be some sort of constructs along with it. You would have to call it like compassionate capitalism, where there's incentives and it's encouraged to help other people, and that's made known. That's a well-known part of the culture. Then it could thrive.
And you know, I think that is more of a solution than a kumbaya type of solution. Is more of like a compassionate approach to capitalism. I do think that is more of a solution and more of a way of healing things. Like what was it? Chicago started to advocate, start to do some type of form of reparations. I believe. I think it was Chicago.
Yeah, one of those cities did. I heard about something like that. Yeah.
But like those are these ways that's to me that expounds on kind of what you were saying. Like that's a compassionate form of like capitalism and using this evil thing to kind of rectify some bad relationships. Because at the end of the day, like to me, at the end of the day, there's no changing nothing when we're just printing out money and then we ask people and we create all this bullshit like taxes and all this shit on top of it. When we literally just somebody clocks in and they open up the Federal Reserve and they wipe the code out their eye and they turn the machine on and they just fucking print the $1 trillion for the fucking day.
Like the level of greed is outrageous. Like it's
That's
criminal.
that's
Like if you look at the recession and how the banks like package those predatory loans, and then the bigger banks bet on and people were betting on who was gonna fail, and like people who were gonna fail on their mortgages and go and get kicked out. You know what I mean? And these are people's lives at stake. I would want to go ape shit too if I lost my house because of this shit. Like fuck y'all. You know what I mean? And you told me I was gonna be good, but now I'm out in the street. Like that was millions of people. I think in the numbers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So that's what I'm saying. It's like it's always there's always an incentive to make money. So it's hard to it is what it is on this land at this point. It is what it is, because if you already think about it, that we've glossed over like the killing of 100 million people. We've glossed over this fact as a historical fact in this country. It's not taught in schools. It's not something that we learn about. There's 100 million people that were literally executed. Their whole ancestry was taken out. So if that is the original foundation of the land, and we don't even talk about that. We start off at slavery, right? And we don't even talk about the historical people that were captured and what they were and who they actually. We don't even talk about that either. So all we do is talk about nothing. We just talk about a whole bunch of like pretty much like made up facts that change as we go. So the only thing you can do is make money, try and create some type of narrative, and try and because to try and fight a battle of trying to be on equal ground with someone who doesn't appreciate you, no matter who that is. It doesn't matter who that is. It just seems like you're trying to rectify an abusive relationship.
Yeah.
It's like you're trying to, baby, love me, please love me, baby, please, baby, love me. Like, just leave. We gotta leave. Tina gotta leave, and we're Tina, and America's Ike, and yes, America has done so many great things and like been so great and done all and put us on this pedestal of in real sense.
I love that analogy, bro. That's a gem. Like America is really an abusive relationship, bro.
It is, man.
They're beating the shit out of it. They show you some love just so you stay, but then they beat the shit out of you again just to show you who's boss.
Smush a motherfucker.
Then they give you some flowers like, I'm sorry, babe. Some candy. They're like, where the hell is my dinner at? I've been here for an hour already. Hurry up.
Embarrass you in front of company. You know what I mean? Just like like show you, make you embarrass you in front of your kids. I mean,
not in public though. Hurry up and come on. Let's go.
In public. I mean, in public, you ever seen how the police embarrass a whole family in front of police? I mean, emasculate your whole family. You know what I mean?
Oh man, I ain't playing no games with the police, man.
But that's what. But I'm just going to the context of like how like it's such an abusive thing that we're trying to rectify something. We're trying to become.
How abusive is police brutality though? Like on a psychological level, watching them kill your people, your race, and nothing happened to these guys over and over again. That's emotional abuse right there.
We're watching it and imagine these teenagers watching it every single day. That's why you get these protests. That's why you get these riots. You get these things because they're internalizing this shit and they're combustive energy. Their hormones are raging at a certain time. And if you get the right type of group of people who are already hungry and already in the type of mind states already, that's inevitable, no matter where you are. You can go to any country and create that type of dynamic and you'll get the same answer. Actually, it's happened every single time you've ever seen that. Yeah. Every single time. So it's not nothing. It's not a new thing. It's not a new phenomenon.
I mean, that's human nature. People gonna fight back. Like, look at the French Revolution. Like, Marie Antoinette, that famous phrase, she's like, we have no bread. She's like, let them eat cake. She got her head chopped off, dog. Like, niggas ain't gonna take it but so long.
Yeah.
I was like, she had a whole powerful army. She got her head chopped off. So she ain't give a shit. She was like, nah, let them eat cake, man. They ain't got no bread. Like some flipping shit like that. When niggas can't eat, you got to
Yeah.
pay for that. They gonna make you pay.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. You're gonna pay. Like it's not, and that's what I'm saying. Like things, natural order just takes in. Like we can have as many Teslas and fucking cryptocurrencies as we want. People, as long as people are in charge of the world, people are gonna act as people do at all times. So you get a person to their most primitive state, they will act that way.
Oh, this reminds me of a great story. My mom used to read me ancient, like old legends, just to give me wisdom when I was a kid, because she studied the classics in college. So I learned ancient Greek mythology. My dad would tell me African folk tales, and she would also read me stuff from French literature. And she told me this story called the Wolf and the Lamb. It's an ancient. Every kid in France knows this story. It's the Wolf and the Lamb. It's about human nature. They used to read it to French kings, and basically there's a lamb drinking water in a stream, and then it looks in the water in the reflection and sees a wolf over his shoulder. And then he sees the wolf, and the wolf's like licking his chops. He's like, "Oh no!" And the lamb's like, "Don't eat me because it's a really sunny day." And then the wolf's like, and he's like, "Don't eat me because I don't know." He just made up some bullshit. There's reasons he gives him like, "Don't eat me because my skin is really nice looking." He's like, no. He's like, "Don't eat me because it's Saturday and you should go play somewhere." And he's like, and then the wolf eats him. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And then I guess the whole point of the story is you can't argue against nature.
Yeah, exactly.
There's nothing you could do.
Yeah.
It's a wolf. He wants to eat you. You could talk to your blue in the face. You could do whatever you want. A wolf is a wolf, and you're a lamb, so he wants to eat you.
And
so understanding the nature of yourself and the other and the enemy, and understanding the nature of you. The first thing you got to figure out when you're dealing with something is the nature of what it is.
Yeah.
Then you know what to do. He should have just ran. Boom. That's the only thing you could do.
Because then you get tricked out your spot.
You know?
You get tricked out of your spot trying to be something or trying to think of something else. Like if somebody, that's what I'm saying. A lot of people are just getting tricked out of their spot. Somebody else is in their spot and then they're just like being tricked out of it by thinking that they have to go with this. Because, if you look at the wealthiest people in the world, a lot of common characteristics are that they don't really follow any type of real structured programming. And they're very against the grain. And you look at their interviews and you watch their interviews, it's very anti everything everybody else does. So that's why they get the pro results that everybody else doesn't get. And even if you go down the pecking order and look at people that are millionaires or high performers in any type of field, it's the same thing. There's a deliberate going against the grain that is evident, because if you go with the grain, then you end up in the slaughterhouse.
Yeah, exactly. That's a great point as well. If you want to get different results, you got to do different things. You can't be doing what everybody else is doing. If you want to get different results than everyone else, why would you do what everybody else is doing?
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. It's already tried and true, and that's not a diss to anything in life, because everything is everything is a stepping stone if you use it as such. It's just that we get caught up in the race, that we don't use it as a stepping stone. It becomes like we use it to build a house.
Yeah.
Instead of using it as a something to propel us to that next place, to be able to keep going and keep being like imaginative, and you know what I mean, and having that like the fire and the desire. That's where I was talking about, like, maturity is overrated, because you lose that fire. Like the fire goes away. Like the fire is not there anymore to like be able to like. I feel like that's the real joy of like life. That's the real energy. Like, is that fire?
And people are sheep, right? And generally speaking, people follow the crowd, and people do what they're told. And social media is an example. Like say I were to get some advice on social media, right?
Mm-hmm.
Somebody might be like, "Well, where your car's at? Where your house at? Like, Why I
Yeah,
gotta be a millionaire to be wise?
yeah,
Gandhi,
yeah.
Gandhi didn't have a mansion and a Wraith Phantom or whatever, a Rolls
He
Royce.
wouldn't be he wouldn't have never made it if he was born.
Mother Teresa wasn't balling out
Would have
here.
never made
Like
it. Would have never made it. Like she
I'm
would
pretty
be.
sure Jesus just had a cloak. You
He would
know,
have never made it in 2021.
no,
None of
Jesus
these,
would have because he would have done the miracles and that would have been all over Instagram.
oh
Everybody
yeah,
would
he
be like,
would have
"Oh
went.
my
Yeah, he would have definitely. Yeah,
god!"
Jesus would have went viral. Jesus would have went viral.
Jesus would have been the most viral figure in the world.
Yeah, he definitely would have went viral. There's a few
Yeah,
people that still would have made it. Jesus definitely would have went viral. For sure. Martin Luther King definitely would have been viral because like having all those motherfuckers marching and just have that
yeah.
on the live.
He would have had the social media campaign on point.
Yeah, Malcolm X would have definitely been popping 2-3
He
million
probably
times.
more than Martin Luther King at this point right now.
He
Today,
probably Malcolm X would probably be one of the most popping people on Instagram if he was alive right now.
yeah,
He probably
because he
because he
was
was
so good
real.
at the oratory skills and just the
Yeah, and he was very
interviews
conscious.
and all that. He was good at that.
He'll have the Draco on him. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
But what I was saying, like people are sheep, and it's like,
Go ahead.
you know, they're trying so hard to see proof of everything and this and that, and it's like you could get wisdom from your man who's in prison who ain't got shit. You talk to him on the phone, he could give you a gem.
Yeah,
You know, it's like you need discernment. That's what you need. You gotta be able to recognize wisdom when you hear it. You know, it could come from anywhere, anybody. It could come from watching animals do things in nature. We're looking out your window.
Yeah, it does.
You know, like, so I don't know. People got to just start learning to open their minds. Everybody's just trapped in the same way of thinking right now.
It's crazy.
Everyone's thinking exactly the same.
I was having a conversation with a friend and a situation that they went through, just like a key word, like gave me a whole idea for a song.
Yeah.
Like, just from one thing that they said. Like they just said one thing and it gave me a whole idea and sparked like a whole thing in my head just from one thing that they said, just to harp on like what you were saying of how like it's just it's not really, there's no idea that's too big or small. There's no person that's too big or small for you to be able to absorb life from them. Because everybody
I've definitely got wisdom from homeless people in the street before.
Some of
That's
the best
100% happened.
people, old people are great. Like not old people, wise people are great. People that have extreme wisdom that have had a lot of time on this earth. Those people will give you some of the best stuff like ever that will remind you to stay youthful. I think that you always have to put yourself in a position to always remind yourself to stay youthful. That's why I think talking to old people that have more wisdom, it allows you to do that, because then they're able to, like, they remind you, you know what I mean? They remind you, they're like, hey, like I was you one day. And you're like, you looking at them like, motherfucker, you know what I'm saying? Every there's a stage, everybody has stages and seasons and everything, you know what I mean? Just like a 14-year-old look at me and be like, man, you know what I mean? But I have wisdom that I can give to them. But like in somebody else's eyes, I am that 14-year-old. In somebody else's eyes, I'm always gonna be the 14-year-old in somebody else's eyes, because there's always going to be somebody that's above me, even when I'm 50, even when I'm 60, even when I'm 70, 80, God willing, you know what I mean? There's always going to be somebody that's like older than me, that's looking at me in a certain type of way. And then
become the oldest man in the world.
I mean, that's the goal, right?
Yo, I met an old Indian lady in Brazil. It was on a little lift to go to the top of Sugarloaf Mountain or something, like one of those mountains. I don't know. Don't quote me. But she gave me one of my favorite quotes I've ever got in life. I forget what we were talking about, but I was stressing over something. I was talking to my dad, and she interjected, and she's like, "Everything has its time, and then its time is done. Don't worry about it. That's just it." And then I've never forced an issue with time since then.
That's powerful.
Like when something was over, I was like, okay, it's over.
That's powerful.
Let it go. You know? That just that gets you to ease off the pedal or the gas pedal a little bit and let it coast.
I think I'm gonna write that one down in my notes of good sayings. That's a good one.
Yeah, it's a really good one.
Yeah, that's a really good one.
Yeah, I should take it for myself, trademark it. Yeah, man. Make myself look smart. You know? Anyway, it's about time. It's been about an hour. Got to wrap it up.
Yeah, man, no doubt. It's good talking, man. Really good talking.
Shout out to Gatger for staying tuned in the whole time.
Oh, yeah, whoever that is, man, you're awesome.
Yeah,
Appreciate
you're
you.
awesome, man. We appreciate you, man.
Yeah, that's great.
You want to shout anything out before we get out of here?
Yeah, man. Go cop, man. Nobody cops anything physical anymore. Go and no, you can cop. Well, I got some hoodies and stuff coming out soon. I don't know how to do this. There we go. I got some hoodies. This is just some personal stuff, but I got some merch coming out. I got my Project Heartbreaking Money is out right now on all streaming platforms. Make sure you go and you listen to that. Follow me at I am Money Mike, and shout out to DJ Boss Player for having me on this platform. I think you guys already know the rest. Till next time, you already know what it is.
All right. First shout out is to God. Shout out Money Mike, the illustrious Money Mike, for coming through. Thanks to all the listeners watching now or the recorded episode afterwards. Follow me everywhere at DJ Boss Player, and check out my blog, bossreview.blog. We'll be back. I don't think we'll be back next week. I can't make it next week, but we'll be back the week after that. So appreciate y'all. Boss Talk. We out here. Peace.